Hello and happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Thank you so very much for tuning into 98.3 FM The Life. You're listening to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. Of course, I'm your host, Marty Jalove. I come at you every single Monday night at 7 o'clock to talk about your job, your career, your business, your vision made clear, not your business. Everything is clear. Let's just clear up your vision. See, I told you, Katya, I was going to screw up the beginning. All right. We also talk about the skills that you hone for the business that you own, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns, where you're at and where you're bound. If you miss any of today's episode, and of course you shouldn't miss the episode because this is an incredible episode. This is a episode near and dear to my heart, and I couldn't imagine picking a better person to talk about with this. So I'll be with you in a second. All right. If you miss any of today's episode, tune in later in the week to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness, anywhere you listen to podcasts. All right. So as you know, I'm on a quest to bring you the very best. And today is my super special guest, my good friend that I haven't seen in a very long time is Kasia Vetter.
Yes.
So, Kasia, I just want you to introduce yourself to the world. Everyone's wondering, like, why would Marty bring Kasia to the studio? So, by the way, you're on the camera. You're doing great. Just
Oh,
tell us who you are, why we should know you. How do we get in contact with you?
absolutely. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. As I told you before, it's my first time to podcast. There was no one else I would rather do for the
Oh,
first time,
thank
but
you.
Mr. Happiness you always, and I'm gonna be in a safe place with you.
Yes,
So
of course you are.
thank
Yes,
you for
yes.
trusting me, and good luck.
Yeah.
About me, my name is Kasia Vetter. I provide on location and studio photography for businesses.
Yes.
So I work with big corporations or just individuals, so someone who just looking for LinkedIn image or something simple or big projects also. I provide the kind of photography too. So any business photography. Yep, that's pretty
Tremendous.
much what
All
I do.
right. And so how do they get a hold of you?
Yes, my website is the quickest way. It's kasiavetterphotography.com. It's KASIA
Okay.
V as in Victor, ETTER, photography.com. You
Perfect.
have all my contact information there.
Okay. Because you're on Facebook and Instagram
Yes,
and those
yes, of
places as
course.
well. But
Yes.
we can find that
Mhm.
all through your website.
That's the best way. Correct.
Tremendous, tremendous. Well, thank you so very much. I'm excited about this episode. This is one of these episodes I wanted to talk about for a while. We're going to be talking a little bit about people who are camera shy. And we're
Mhm.
talking not only just a regular camera, but also video camera, because video is a little bit different.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I thought, like, who would really know about this?
Hmm.
And yeah, I thought, I
Hmm.
couldn't find that person. So I settled for you. All right.
Well, thank you. That's very nice to hear that.
Yes, right, right. Thank
Great.
All right. But no, I love your photography
Thank you.
work. Absolutely love your work. And I remember the one time I went over to your studio and I saw the pictures you were taking of furnishings, okay, of just rooms.
Yes.
And there was something so inviting, so warm about the way that you shoot pictures. There's an essence, an artistic essence that you pull out that is amazing that I don't even know if you can define how you do that.
I I just I guess it's just the years of practicing and
Okay.
shooting different environment and not just the people, but also interior designers,
Yes.
designer furniture. And it's totally different beast than photographing people. People
Yes.
think, oh, this is the picture of the chair. If you don't know technical stuff, you don't know what the client is expecting from, it
Yes.
might be a little bit challenging. For me, it's just the years of practicing and not practicing, working on my skills and get better with what
Sure.
I do.
Well, I would imagine that shooting furniture or something like that is a little easier because it listens to you better, right? It sits still. It doesn't move around.
Yes, doesn't talk back for sure,
Yeah.
or try run away from you.
Right. Right.
But it's just once again, it's a little bit different beast because
Yeah.
once again, it's just technical stuff. It's easier, yes, but it still have to be on some level of your professionalism to know how to handle this shoot, even if it's just a chair or closet.
Gotcha. Well, first off, I just wanted to really just at least talk about that a little bit because I want the people who are listening to know that you're not just a photographer, you're an amazing artist.
Thank you.
Okay. Everything that you do. I mean, I can't picture a bad photograph that you've taken. And I've seen a lot of portraits that you've taken of people, like you said, for their LinkedIn page, as simple as that,
Yeah.
but also just some of the other shots that you've taken, action shots, just where you capture that moment which is so incredible, and you do such a good job. And that's why I had to bring up the furniture, because
Yeah.
I think it's so important that when you can create something so beautiful
Mm.
with an inanimate object, you know you're going to do wonders with with somebody's face. So congratulations to you
Thank you.
for finding your calling, something you're really good at, and being able to share that artwork, you have talent, with so many people.
Well, yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Now I want to get into, here's the scary part. This is the whole idea of this conversation,
Ooh.
was this idea of people who are camera shy, people who
Mhm.
are afraid to look into the camera. And you sit here, and as we're talking, I'm looking and I'm going, oh, I'm talking right into the camera. It's this lens staring at me.
Yeah,
And the more you think about it, the spookier it can become, right?
correct.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, I know it's hard to believe, but me personally, I'm actually very feel awkward in front of the camera. I like my
Oh,
place behind. Believe me, I know,
sure, sure.
but that's really what it is. And because I just, for me, feeling awkward, seeing myself later on the pictures, it's just something different than you do with your cell phone.
Okay.
So, and the unintentional, you have to look at the lens, and there's a person. There's a
That's right.
lot that happen for these people. So, if you shy, if you never done it before, then awkward, it's absolutely normal. It's for all of us, even for me as a photographer.
Sure, sure. Well, I guess the fact that you can identify that you get nervous getting your picture taken, the fact that you can identify with that makes you gives you the ability to personalize it with people, to identify, to say, I
Yes.
understand you're nervous, and let's get over that. So what we're going to do today, Kasha, is we're going to cover a little bit of why we think people are afraid. I want to
Mm-hmm.
share some stories, because I'm sure you've got some great
Oh.
stories, and I got a couple stories I want to share as well. And then what we'll do is we'll get into what's considered the bacon of the show. Okay.
Oh.
Now I know you've listened to a few of the
Oh.
episodes. So the idea is I want to introduce kind of the bacon, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So the idea is, the name of the show is Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. And the reason it's Bacon Bits is everything that bacon touches just becomes a little bit better, right? You know,
Yeah.
the best food in the world, you add a little bacon to it, it just becomes that much better, that much tastier, right?
Oh,
Yeah. I
absolutely.
There you
Yum.
go. I know. You like teased me earlier, said you were going to bring me bacon, but somebody ate it. So I'm not even going to mention his name. He doesn't
Well,
deserve his name to be mentioned on this show.
I will bring you next time. How
All
about
right,
that?
sounds good. Sounds good. So anyway, so the bacon for the show, of course, is not the bacon for chewing; it's the bacon for doing.
Mhm.
So we have an acronym, BACON, and when we talk about getting over that fear of being on the camera, the BACON we're talking about today is going to be: B is breathe, and we're going to get into this detail. Uh, A is acknowledge your fears.
Mhm.
C is connect with your audience. And this is a lot to do mostly with video, but I think in still photography it's as well, is
Yes.
understanding who's going to be looking at this photograph,
Yes.
right? O is going to be own your quirks. In other words,
Mhm.
be who you are, right? Not that I know of anyone with quirks. Uh,
Did you look in a mirror? So
wow, right? Attack
as a
me. Oh yeah, yeah.
compliment,
Thank
as
you,
a
thank you.
compliment.
N is never stop practicing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're going to jump into. And I want to tell you this quick story about the never stop practicing. This is this thing that you'll find amusing. So years ago, I was a wedding officiant. And I
Okay.
would perform these weddings, and I loved doing it. You know, this whole idea of standing up in front of the people, all
Mhm.
these strangers, they had to be quiet and listen to me talk.
Get all his
Right,
attention.
exactly. Get all the attention, right? And then at the end of the wedding, the photographer would come and say, I want to take a picture of the officiant and the bride and groom, right?
Yes.
Well, they don't really care about the officiant.
Well, they
It's,
can, but they do a little
well, a
bit.
little bit like,
Yeah.
good, you're a good backdrop, right?
Yeah.
So I'd stand there and they'd say, smile. And I'd smile and I'd put up this smile, right? And then they would go, okay, now hold on. The groom here, turn it a little bit. Now, bride, do this. Turn your head a little bit. In the meantime, I'd be smiling,
I like,
and
yeah, I'm moving.
right, I'm not moving, and
That
I couldn't hold the pose anymore.
yeah.
And then by the time they took the picture, by the time they got the bride and groom looking absolutely amazing, I'm in the picture like this going,
Oh, like shaking
right,
from
yeah,
holding this.
and I'm not smiling anymore. And I remember wanting to get some pictures, and I would ask the bride and groom, "Could you send me this?" I would look at them going, "Oh my god, I'm
No.
horrific in these pictures."
Yes, and that's pretty much come to when I start working with my clients, when the first one came to my studio.
Yeah.
And when we go through the session, and when I see, for me, it's a lot of watching who I'm working with.
Okay.
Just really watch the body language. Where's
Okay.
the hands when they walk in, after they
Yeah.
look around. Right away, they make me kind of just notice what kind of where we're gonna be. If this person is shy, is more open. and just a little bit more personal, just a little everyone comes to my studio as my family. I
Oh,
think
that's
that
beautiful.
personal approach, but go back to what you were saying. Every time when I'm taking pictures and I see this person just dying from holding the smile,
Yeah,
I'm taking break. I step out
good.
from out the camera,
Yeah,
connect with them. I'm like, pretend maybe fix their hair, shake it up a little bit,
yeah,
can exhale, inhale, relax those knees. People are like,
that's
but it's
right.
a headshot. I'm like, no, it goes
Yes.
from the bottom and just moment just to read them people. So it's really from years of practice in photography. You learn, read the people. And when I see that,
Yeah,
then I'm
yeah.
like, no, we're not doing this.
We're
No,
not doing
no, no, we don't. Let's take a break.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Now, a few years ago, I was at a, Chamber of Commerce meeting, and you were there, and you were doing, portrait shots.
Okay.
There I don't know if you really remember it. It
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
first
yeah.
time you did a presentation on what got you into photography, and I listened
Yes.
to it, and I think afterwards I told you, "Man, it was a touching story and stuff," and of course, you're beating yourself up. No, I hate it. I hate
Mm,
talking in front of the group like that.
yeah.
But I also spent some time watching you photograph these people and watching you do exactly what you're saying,
Yeah.
where you were jumping out from behind the camera and you're telling people, "No, no, no, put your chin up a little bit. Smile, relax. Let's
Yeah.
have fun." That whole thing. And I was like, you take this, the idea of photography to this next level that, you really when you said you just make them feel like they're
Mm-hmm.
coming to your home, their family,
Yeah.
it just really is just beautiful, and you live up to that. And I can't say that I've seen a lot of photographers work, but I can say that I've seen some photographers work, and I can imagine there's a whole bunch that just don't take that additional care,
Yes.
and that's sad.
And it's I think, and I don't want to point, but there's most photographers who are very strong technically. They just, you
Yeah,
know, they're so more into equipment. They kind of sometimes forget how to works with people.
right.
How to read them again. I don't want to repeat myself, but
No,
how actually bring the comfort to people. And I hear stories like this all the time. Hey, my last photographer, it's like it was so stale, and the
yeah,
cam said, and I left even sadder. And I came home crying because it was just so depressing. And I think a lot of it's just me personally. I have the kind of goofiness a little bit, and
yeah,
I bring
yeah.
that between with my people.
Right, right, and I think you pull it off well, and so I
Thank you.
think that's one of the things that when I first met you, I liked about you, and I was like, "Oh, this is just a fun person to be
Yeah,
with."
thank you.
Okay, so I wanna get into this a little bit of, I'm looking at the time here, we're fine on time. Tell me a little bit about how you got into photography. How did the whole thing start?
So my dad back in Poland, I grew up in Poland, and my dad used to do very amateur photography.
Okay,
So they kind of like rub on me a little bit. And then when I moved to States after a few years, try searching what I want to do, what I want to be, I realized I have camera with me all the time. I'm always take pictures. So I woke up in the morning and told my husband, I'm going to be a photographer. I took classes in a CLC, community
wow,
college. And I was one of those actually nerd students, which
yeah,
I never been in my entire
no,
life. And there was a lot of young kids, and it was me, mid-age. I was like, "Oh, I'm
yeah,
doing it." And after this, I decide grab any possible job I could in the photography industry. Either if there was there was sales for photographers or newborn babies
yeah,
photography.
yeah,
At church, all the people. I
yeah,
started used to start a day at the hospital for newborn babies. Then I
okay,
drove to churches, take pictures of all the people. When the husband said, "Oh, my wife just died. Can I hold her picture?"
oh,
So
yeah,
besides of me learning technical how to set up lights and everything else, it was kind of that a personal touch. Kind of
nice.
yes.
I love that. This goes back to what I was saying about the pictures I've seen that you've taken, whether they be portraits of people or even furniture shots. There is something about there's a story in there that you're capturing in one shot. And that is such a true art form that there's something about when you take those shots, when you look at them, you see the personality, not just a person. And I think that's wonderful. There's a shot on your site that you took of yourself, a black and white shot. You're
Oh,
sitting on the chair with like one knee up. And
oh, the silly one. Oh,
I know it was like flip through your site. I'm like, wow, that is such a cool shot.
I,
You know?
and actually, that's going to be something to do with about your own quirks, about your own. This is something to
Yeah.
do with me because we're gonna go back to it,
Okay,
but
we
that's a
will.
great
Awesome,
sample.
awesome,
That's a
awesome,
great sample.
awesome. So what I wanna do is this, is I wanna talk about what I've narrowed down to what I believe is the 3 biggest reasons people are afraid or they're a little camera shy.
Mhm,
And it's gonna be fear of judgment. They're
mhm.
afraid, "Hey, once it's up there, people are gonna see this and
Yes.
they're gonna judge me." Number 2 is I'm a perfectionist. I want it to be absolutely perfect. I don't want that picture there. Take another picture, throw that one away, etcetera. And then lastly is just it's a lack of experience,
Mhm.
especially when, like, maybe you're videotaping yourself or
Yeah.
you're taking a picture of yourself. It's a lack of experience. I don't know how I'm supposed to stand and stuff like that.
Yes.
Now, I've taken more video of myself, although I've taken quite a few photos of myself.
Yeah.
But the most difficult photos I took, or had of myself was when I got married, and the photographer was saying,
Interesting.
"Stand like this. Here, bend a little." I'm like, "I feel so awkward," right? But when you see the pictures, I'm like, "Oh, those are great
I would
pictures."
never ever say you feel awkward in front of camera. I mean, everyone who knows you, they know Mr. Happiness does no shame. He's just who he is and capture beautiful and goes beautiful with everything else you all together. So
Oh,
it's
thank you.
brilliant and very encouragement for a lot of
I know
people.
I'm sorry I've never had to hire you 'cause I'm not afraid to
I
take
don't
pictures
I
of
don't
myself.
I don't think so. I could keep up with 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 you. So perfectly fine.
Well, here and I'm gonna tell you a little secret. When I first started taking those pictures, it was the same thing. Taking the pictures, looking, going, "Oh, I don't know, what am I supposed to do?" Because I
Yeah.
wanted to make some dramatic poses. I needed
Yes.
something to stand out and make, I would put blog posts and used, like, 5 pictures of myself. And so
Hmm.
every week, I would take 5 more pictures of myself. So you're
Okay.
talking about doing practice, just sitting in
Yes.
front of that. Uh, but when I first started, I would go on the computer afterwards, and I would use Photoshop, and I would touch myself up. This is in
Uh-huh.
the beginning because and I said to myself, "Wow, I'm showing so much vanity here
Mhm.
about touching myself up, but yet I'm trying to teach people to be happy with who you are." So
Yes.
one day I just pulled the plug and I said, "I'm done. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to touch myself up. This is who I am." Because the
Mhm.
worst thing is you touch yourself up so much and then someone sees you in person and they go, "Wait,
Oh,
you had hair in that picture," right?
yeah. Oh,
Something like that.
happens all the time. And yes, you're right. The touching up images came up years ago,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of on average those days everyone expected just a
Yeah.
minimum. I try to keep very natural. I don't try overdo it, but
Right.
I have clients that came back that's like more. I was like,
Wow.
so I'm like, it's my work. Some point I can say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with that. At the same time, at the end of the day, it's their image. If that's how they want to present themselves
Yeah.
and be out there, it's really up to them because that's how they want to see themselves. And if from and again, work with that worry that the image is going to be.
It's funny because they're worried about people looking at the picture
Hmm.
and judging them on that picture, but I came up with I really thought about it that sometimes if I could doctor this up and, we live in a world now that there's an app, or a filter for everything, right? And I can
Hmm.
change myself, and what happens is you can't live up to that fake image of yourself.
Correct.
So it really is what I if I needed to update a photo of myself and
Okay.
I came to you, I think now I'm mature enough, sensible enough, logical enough to come to you and say, "You know what? I'm putting myself in your hands. I
Hmm.
trust you. Take the picture, understand who I am, understand who
Yes.
I'm trying to get across. I don't need you to doctor it because if you're doctoring it up, especially if you're doctoring up too much,
Yeah.
you're painting me to be someone I'm not."
100%.
And I really think, so how do you let me ask you that. How do you convince people to not be afraid of being judged by other people? How do you do that? And I wish I had an immediate answer as well.
Yeah. How? Ooh, that's a good one.
And I just told you out now
I
in the green room, I wouldn't put you on the spot, and here I am.
phew. Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Um, I think again it comes to the personal connection I think I'll
Okay.
make with people.
Sure, sure.
And I think the big one is, for example, I have someone who complain, let's just say, oh, my nose is ugly.
Yeah,
It's so big. Is it just look better? Oh,
yeah.
they try posing and hide the nose. If I see this stuck with bad nose, let's just
Yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah, sure.
I try always take them away from this thought and say, hey, your sweater looks great with your blue eyes and get them away from that. And that kind of thing approach also help them not feeling judged outside
Right,
because
right.
I talk about the sweater, the hair, point different things. They don't necessarily focus first when they come to studio,
Yeah.
but they kind of make them think like, oh, this sweater looks really great on this picture. Thank you to encourage me to in that way. That even sometimes don't know what's happening.
Right, right,
It's a
right.
little kind of like game happen, but
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So let me ask you, so do you usually while you're talking to them, trying to get them to calm down, are you usually taking a lot of pictures?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because you might find that candid picture might be the perfect picture, right?
Yes, I mean, it also depends on the project. With the lifestyle photography, definitely there's a lot of interaction. It's a lot of little less posing, but just kind of get in natural environments
Okay.
and conversation, get them comfortable. The couple jokes again depends on everyone else. It was different. Maybe somebody needs more serious jokes. Maybe someone is completely goofiness and me doing this and get them comfortable and laughing. So again, everyone's a different, but yeah.
So yeah, I like the idea that you understand you've got to make them feel as comfortable as possible. Makes me wonder when you say, "Oh, Marty, you don't need me to take a shot of you. You do such a good job." I wonder if you're just saying that to make me feel comfortable. So I go, "Sure, Kasia, take
No,
some pictures of me."
no, 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 no. No.
All right, I'm looking at this. We're just about at the bottom of the hour, which means we're going to take a little bit of a
Ooh,
break. Can you believe we're already halfway through?
ooh, and
You
I'm
know?
surviving.
I know
Hey,
you're doing too good of a job. I'm
well,
afraid that
thank
they're
you.
going to you're going to want to steal my job.
Don't
So,
worry. I don't think so. That's yeah.
all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the break just
Okay.
like a minute early here, and then we'll be right back. So stay tuned if you want to learn more about photography, getting over that fear of getting your picture in front of the lens, whether it's still photography or video. Stay tuned to the second half an hour when we introduce the bacon. So we will be right back. Thank you so much. And we are back. Thank you so very much for staying tuned in to 98.3 The Life. I almost forgot where we're at because I'm in the station with the beautiful Kasia Vetter from Kasia Vetter Photography. In case you can't remember her first name, do you remember the name of her photography studio? All right. And so thank you again for staying tuned. The second half of the show, we're going to be talking more and more about how we deal with that stage fright. I'm going to call it stage fright for now when you're standing in front of a camera, whether it is a legitimate still camera or if it is a video camera. So we're going to share a little bit more. But Kasha, I want to get right into this because that first half an hour went quick, and
Yes.
we didn't even get into the bacon yet. So I want to get into this. Uh, the thing we talked a little bit about why are people afraid
Mm-hmm.
is we talked about the fear of judgment. There's also people who are perfectionists,
Yes.
okay, as well as that lack of experience. And I think the lack of experience turns more towards the video part of it, okay?
Okay. Okay.
But perfectionism, have you had people who try to take over the studio to I love that face.
Uh,
All right. So tell me a little bit about and don't give any names. We don't need
no,
that.
no, no,
No,
no. I
no,
would
no.
never.
Right, right.
First of all, I everyone for me, my studio or an location
Yeah.
are the same. There is no. I don't care if you are president or homeless.
Yeah.
I would treat the same way.
Right.
That's rule number one. And what was the question?
Have you ever had a perfectionist,
Oh,
someone who wants to take over?
I think what I notice there's a people who walk into my studio
Uh-huh.
and that's how I do it. That's how I like it. And
Yeah.
they're perfect, those beautiful faces. And actually, those people are actually less photogenic. The
Yes.
people who has walk in and they're like, oh, I had my pictures. And the moment when I snap this picture, I look at this person and like, you absolutely beautiful. Even just as maybe as a person, but you are just absolutely photogenic, beautiful person.
Yeah.
Go back to people who try cannot take over, tell me this is struggling sometimes because I have to nicely put them at a place and deliver something. It's not going to look like the selfie they're doing all the time.
Right.
Because if per person she always doing this or
Yeah.
whatever we're
Yeah. Yeah.
doing, if I'm gonna push her a little bit of my posing, and even if she's uncomfortable, if she's not, I kind of back up and kind of go back to it to get her when I know it's gonna look good. When I see those shoulders, when I
Nice.
see this eyes, when I see the tip a little bit of the
Yep.
head and
Yep.
chin out, it's like that looks weird. I'm like, the worst case, you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
But they do. They
Nice.
do.
I love it. I love it. And so I want to just get into this before we get into the bacon. The
Hmm.
other thing is the lack of experience. And I want to share a really quick story.
Hmm.
So from me starting my business was a lot of still photography, me taking a lot of pictures of myself
Hmm.
to now. occasionally I'll do these videos of myself promoting the show or promoting an idea,
Yeah.
and I turn on the camera and I say I've got 60 seconds, up to 60 seconds to talk, and I start rattling off, and it's amazing because you're staring into the camera and tripping over my words. And I know what I can do is I can edit it. I could say I'm going to talk 15 seconds, I'm going to talk 10 seconds, edit it together. But I had this idea to go, it's more real if I just spit it all out in one shot. And I would do this whole thing like leaning into the camera, talking, being all excited, like you got to listen to Bacon Bits with
Mhm.
Master Happiness. I'm your host, Marty Jalove, and it's every minute. And and I would just do that at the end, and I was like, okay, we're gonna start it all over again. And I would do this over and over. And on my phone, it would be like 30 takes until I finally had one that I wanted, right?
Mhm.
And anyone who knows me would see only the finished product, and they don't know all the mistakes,
Struggles.
right? All the struggles. Perfect.
Mhm.
And obviously, that list continues to go down. Now it's maybe 2 or 3 times that I take it, and sometimes, "This is a really important message. I don't want to screw it up like that, so I am gonna do it in little pieces and edit it
Yeah,
together."
that's fine.
Okay?
Yeah.
But to me, it was a great exercise of practicing, going over and over and over and not being afraid to do that, and it's the only way to get over the fear of the lens.
Yes.
Okay?
And I can a little bit relative to that because um when occasionally has to do some little videos clips of myself, same thing. Even in the car, I have like, "Hi everyone," 30, 40 takes, and I'm not even posting because it's just like I don't have the experience. I don't push myself to it.
Gotcha.
I'm
Yeah.
not as brave as you are.
Ah,
I'm like,
takes
I don't like
practice.
it exactly, and it's something I understand because for me not having this practice, continuing to do those, that's why I don't do it at all.
There you go.
But yeah,
All right. So now let's get into this. Let's get into this before we end up running out of time. The second half an hour always seems to go faster than the
yeah,
first.
yeah.
I guess because it's downhill. All right. So
Hopefully,
if
good way.
yeah,
Hopefully, good way.
exactly. Right. So we're going to talk about the bacon for turning that awkwardness into what are we talking to turn it into something awesomeness,
Hmm.
awkwardness to awesomeness. And so the bacon is going to be breathe, acknowledge your fears, C is connect with your audience, O is own your quirks, and N is
Hmm.
never stop practicing. So although we've talked on some of this stuff, do you have any breathing techniques? Some that's the B in breathing. Do you have breathing techniques that you teach them? Do you tell them even something as simple as just keep breathing, don't
Hmm.
stop breathing? Any secrets about breathing that you work with people?
Well, sometimes it's tricky because sometimes I have 5, 10 minutes per person. Sometimes I have hour too. Depends on the
Oh,
project.
okay.
So I have to be quick with that. I'm not going to sit down. Hey, let's. So what I usually do is just, and I can tell usually the shoulders. I'm like,
Sure. Yeah.
roll them, and it's like breathe through your stomach. So usually for stomach
Yeah.
works, and or however. But happens sometimes people hold them. I was like, dude, exhale,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I go,
Nice.
I did not know. But once I have a gentleman, I told him breathe, and he just didn't even move. There was not even. I'm like,
Really
I'm like, you're not listening to me. Kind of just little.
nice. Nice.
And he's like, no, I'm breathing from my stomach. And he was some yogi guy who just breathed without even moving his body. I was like, oh, okay, yo, you got me on this one.
Nice.
But yeah,
Nice.
it's just pretty much just for stomach and yeah.
Okay. All right. I like the fact that you said breathe through the stomach. So I had learned something and I tested it, but I've also showed it, I asked other people to do it and they're like, I don't get it. I don't get it. There's this thing about your nerve endings
Mhm.
that if you tell the person their thumb to the index finger,
Oh,
when they breathe, you have a tendency to breathe from your chest.
yes.
Okay. When you touch your second finger, you have a tendency to breathe from your belly.
Oh,
Okay. And you just suddenly, now you could force yourself,
yep.
but if you do this and just do it naturally, you breathe from your belly, and I think that's
Interesting.
gotta have something to do with, yoga and,
Yeah.
this whole idea of touching those fingers.
Yeah.
So it's one of those cool things to try to tell people if they're feeling nervous, what I always like doing is giving them something else to think about. So even if
Yes.
the finger thing doesn't work,
Yeah.
you could just say, "Hey, I'll tell you what, the easiest way for you to calm down is touch your thumb to this finger, not this finger."
Oh.
Do that because then suddenly they're concentrating on that, and they're forgetting why they were nervous in the first place.
Yeah, well, I actually, hey, I just learned something today, but just say busy hands out of like body language.
Yes, yes.
So, however, that's why you're gonna see people, what do I do with the hands?
Yeah,
So I usually start like, how about that? Just as a little
That's
ice
right.
breaking,
Nice.
but just keep them busy with the hands. One of them is that kind of
I
just get a
like
little bit and just breathe.
beautiful, beautiful. All right, so with that, we're gonna move into A, which is acknowledge your fears,
Mm-hmm.
okay, which is the same thing that you're talking about,
Yeah.
is when we say this whole thing, "Hey, it's okay to be nervous, everyone's nervous." You surprised me. a little bit when you said right now that, you don't like to be in front of the camera. And even when I asked you, come on the show, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. That's why I didn't even tell you that it's on camera.
Oh, you
It's, you
sneaky,
know,
sneaky.
I just said, you're going to be on the radio. And then you came here all dressed up nice. And I said, oh, good. Cause you're going to be on the camera too.
Yeah.
Cause you're on YouTube and
That's just me.
you're,
That's
yeah,
just
that's
me.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's important for us to learn to acknowledge the fear and just identify it and say,
Mhm.
this is the fear. Yeah, I'm spooked, but why am I afraid? And you go back and you say, am I afraid because people are going to laugh at me? Who the hell cares what they have to say, right? Am I afraid I'm a perfectionist? Well, no, I'm in the hands of a professional. So you're going to take care of me. And the last thing is, have I practiced enough? Well, it doesn't really matter again because especially with still photography
Yeah.
and even videos, I videotape some people and I teach them just sit there. I'm going to let the camera run, and we're only going to use what works,
Yeah.
right? And so for you, it's that whole idea of you put people their stress at rest. You make
Mhm.
them feel comfortable, and you can see it in every picture that I see of
Yeah.
that you post.
Thank you.
I
And yeah, I'm sorry. So I
no,
I think that it's, oh, I forgot this. Oh,
Oh, you
I
are
was so
so
this is
good at
second
this.
time.
Oh my god,
I
right,
need to choose someone
that's
to
right.
remember my
That's
thoughts
all right.
for. I will
Acknowledge your
so
fear. You're a little
yes.
spooked. That's all right.
Yes.
All right, so come back to that. We'll come back to that. So C is connect with your audience, and this
Mhm.
is interesting because we talked a little bit about this. For me, is I understood when I was looking the lens to do the little video,
Mhm.
I would say, "Who exactly am I talking to?" And I would picture, this is my ideal customer or the person I want to hear this message, right? I
Okay.
had a friend of mine who would give presentations all the time to the camera, and he would take a picture of his wife and cut one of the eyes out of his wife and hang it over the camera so the lens would be through her eye,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And I tried that one day and I looked and I was like, now she looks like an android or something.
Yes.
She
It's
looks
kinda
wrong.
it
Yeah,
can be a
yeah,
little creepy though.
just a
I don't
little
know, like
creepy, right?
yeah.
But it forced him to stare, directly into that
Yeah.
and did a better presentation because he saw her face and said, "That's my audience. I'm just talking to my wife."
Interesting.
And I think it's really important, like, from the video standpoint,
Mhm.
it's important for us to say, "Who are you talking to?" Picture that person or those couple of people. Forget the fact that we don't know who's gonna see this video.
Yeah.
It could be 10 people or it could be 1,000 people, it could be
Yeah.
100,000. Forget that, but just picture who is the person, the ideal person, the person I wanna talk to when I'm
Yeah.
looking at the camera. So how do you do something similar like that with photography?
I don't really think so. Never actually thought about that kind of aspect of
Okay.
who. I mean, obviously, I always want to know what the picture is going to be needed,
Yes, yes.
what's the stick to it. And some people's like, oh my gosh, my picture is going to be in a magazine, and they get a little
Yeah.
nervous. So usually, I kind of try. It's like, oh, this magazine is going to look great with your picture
Yeah,
on it. Yeah.
so I think what I like about this is that answer, is that you ask them first up where it's gonna use, so you have an
Hmm.
idea, the audience, the people who are gonna see the picture. I've seen your work, so you pose it just perfectly that
Yeah.
the story comes out. But more so that you don't even realize that you become such an entertaining and calming audience. You're the one behind the camera making them feel like, "I can actually do this."
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's cool that when we talk about, connecting with your audience, you immediately, just become that person who everyone like, "Yeah, I don't mind this. She made me smile. She made me laugh."
Yeah.
So you do a great job with that.
But thank you. A lot of time also people look at the images, they're like, "Oh, this looks great." And for me, I was like, it's a 50-50. I give you
Okay.
this tea, you give it to me, you give me to relax. And for me, the goal is great images. But when
Right.
I see people walk into my studio nervous and sad,
Yeah.
and then after a session, when they're leaving with these smiles and they're like, "This was the best experience,"
Nice.
give them good experience is huge. Then I'm like, "Good job, Kasia."
There you go,
Yeah.
there you go. So and it's funny, I like this. When I do these shows on sales,
Mm-hmm.
and even when you're working with your customers or with your employees, both specifically with sales and marketing, I always say it comes down to 3 things, and
Mm-hmm.
that is really know your customer, which is
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you're saying.
Epic
I say
connection.
share great stories so that people can
Yes.
connect with you, and then lastly is over deliver. And I think
Mhm.
that's those 3 things are so important for making the people feel really comfortable,
Yes.
making them walk out and saying, "I wanna do it again. I want another hour with you,"
Yeah.
whatever it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
And I think that's so important, and I think
Yeah.
that comes natural to you.
And I think that also the end of the whole process, the positive encouragement. People say,
Yes.
"You did amazing." They were like, "I did." So they just really end up the session or video on the positive encouragement. We meet them next time. It's like, "Oh, I done it years ago. It was great," and they're
Nice.
already ahead of hopefully themselves and be nervous
Right,
and be
right.
awkward.
And I think I'll bet you there are people who just after one session with you feel even better when they go to an event and a picture is taken of them.
I hope
Because
so.
yeah, because I think they're like, "I just feel comfortable there."
I hope so.
Okay?
I really
So
hope so.
so with that, let's go into own your quirks.
Oh.
Okay, this is the one I know that you were, excited about. All right? All right. But I think it's gotta be we've gotta understand we've gotta anchor ourselves. We
Mhm.
cannot pretend that we're somebody else because the camera doesn't lie. The camera sees
Mhm.
that, and it's the simplest things like I told the story earlier of me as a when I was a wedding officiant, the camera could see I was awkward, and it
Yeah.
screams that, especially in still photography,
Mhm.
that's sitting there hanging in someone's house forever.
Ouch.
They probably are like, "We don't want this one anymore,"
Yeah.
right?
Just
Or
cover.
I'm the cause of the
Yeah.
divorce, whatever it
Well, I
was.
hope not.
But it's that idea of, be yourself, be your true self, and
Mhm.
this gets in back into what we talked about was touching up the photographs.
Yeah.
Don't do that so much, you don't need to. You're a
I
beautiful
agree.
person as you are,
Yeah.
and let a professional like you capture that essence of you, not just the still
Uh,
shot of you, but the story behind you, the essence of you. Pull your soul out and put it onto film so I can hang it on the wall so people go, "Oh my god." Like I've seen pictures of people where I suddenly go, "Oh my god, you have such a story. I didn't know that about you." And they're like, "What are you
yeah.
talking about?" I don't know. I'm just looking at your picture. There's something. The picture is
Yeah.
screaming something.
Yeah. And I think in the end of we as a humans, we don't like ourselves how we look. I mean, not you.
Right.
Obviously, you just love how you
Well, it's
I mean,
difficult.
and it's we can see.
It's
It's a
difficult for the
yeah.
rest of the world that aren't as good
Not
as
for
looking
you.
as us.
Not for
Right.
you.
Right.
Not for
Right.
you.
Yeah.
It's just sadly we just are never happy. And it's just like I age.
Yeah.
I'm like all these wrinkles, it carves,
Yeah.
of your stories in your
Yep.
face.
Yep.
So when you cover them, it kind of just part of you kind of disappear.
Yeah.
So have that. I mean, listen, I do it myself, but
I worked
it's just
hard for these
story.
wrinkles.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
really hard. Well, not really though.
But, all right, but let's get into this, the own your quirks, all right?
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing of, for me, I'm gonna say that sometimes I have to be honestly and openly me. Since the first day you knew
Mm-hmm.
me, I would wear these kind of Hawaiian
Love it.
shirts, and it's so cool because all winter I've been wearing sweaters, right? And so as
Yes.
soon as the weather broke, I'm like, "I gotta dig one of these out again,"
Yeah.
right? And it's the first time I went to a networking event and I had to wear something and I wore a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
And it was just I said, "This is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna pretend to be anyone different."
Yes.
And so the same thing with the photography, whether I take it myself or I pose for someone, I don't want to pretend I'm somebody else. I don't want somebody posing me to be, "Well, this is what you want so much. This is what you want the world to see." I'm gonna tell you, "This is what I want the world to see. I need you to capture that."
Yeah. And there's actually when I have people what I can wear for my session.
Yeah.
And there's some things with better words, but my always answer is be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't come with pajamas, please. I mean, there's a limit of where you want to be, but just be yourself and just if you like bright colors, wear them.
Yeah.
Again, there's some requirements sometimes don't work, but just don't overdo it. I have people come with the perfect makeup done, jacket they just bought, and she look at pictures like, oh, it just doesn't like feel like me. I
Right.
had that happen. Lady came back next time by herself, looked so comfortable, amazing second shoot
That's
because she just realized the first time it wasn't that really her. It was just pushing herself to pretend someone she's not.
Right, right. I like that. And I like how you just touched upon it is you have to know what the photo is for, right?
Yes.
And so I might say, "Oh, you know what? I want this. I'm wearing this kind of a shirt. I'm going to wear shorts and a
Yeah.
sandals. And I want you to take a picture of relaxing Marty and I'll be looking at the camera. Hey, right? That kind of stuff.
Oh,
But then all
that
of a
would be
sudden,
fun, though.
right, right. And then you're going to be like, what is this picture for? Oh, I'm interviewing for a position at a company. You'd be like, Marty, you do not, we're not using this picture. You have to know,
Oh, yeah.
again, it goes back to know your audience. What is the
Yeah.
picture used for? Where is it going to go? What's the purpose of it? Now,
Yes.
who knows? Maybe whatever job I'm interviewing to become a bartender at Margaritaville. So it's perfect, right?
You would be manager. They would just promote you to see not no
Thank
kitchen
you.
for you to be right on top
Nice,
of that.
nice.
Yeah.
But I think it's important for us to understand what the picture is for,
Yes.
and then continue to drive home that idea. Just be
Mhm.
yourself, right?
Yes.
Like I said, I think the camera doesn't lie, and it knows if you're pretending one way or the
Mhm.
other.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So, man, we're rushing through this here. I was a little worried that we weren't going to make it through the bacon, but we're on
Oh.
N already, and we still got time. So N is never stop practicing. Now,
Mhm.
what I like about it, never stop practicing is both sides of the camera.
Okay.
Okay. It's
Oh, yeah.
whether you are in front of the camera or behind. So let me ask you about what's your practicing routine? What are you doing to continue to learn and evolve and grow and become the best Kasha there is?
Oh. Um, Work on skills, try different things, try different, um, peop for example, I was a little bit was time do something around COVID, and I don't photograph children anymore, and I
Okay.
just focus fears focus most on the business.
Yeah.
And there was a part of me, I saw this little boy with mom playing. I'm like, and I realized they kind of go back to me. They came back. I did a session for them, but they brought me back in just different environment of not the photography for business serious.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like got me a little bit of being somewhere else that I'm not doing every day. And just education, watch new techniques and continue working on yourself and just try things than I've done before and challenges. I love sometimes when people come in and they're like, it's kind of crazy. I was like, love it.
Nice.
You want
Nice.
me on top of the roof? No problem. Drop of the tree? Done it.
I
I
like
mean,
it.
top of toilet. There
Yeah.
was a lot
Yeah.
of, so it's more challenge. It's more fun. And that's kind of sharp my skills because it really pushed me with my knowledge, with my skills.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Now I'm intrigued by this, and now
Oh,
it's at the end of the day, end of the hour. Is what's the craziest position you've been put in, or the craziest position that the people were in that you took a photograph of?
ooh, well, there's so many, but I think that the last one was there was a small bathroom for one of
Okay,
my restaurants, and they beautiful job the tiles. So it was really nowhere for me to go. So
yeah,
I would really have to stand up on the top of the
yeah,
toilet. Where I'm
okay.
kind of between my leg was just there was just no room. I was by the wall, one leg. It was
Oh, that,
a lot of going on top
yeah,
of the
yeah.
toilet for a second. My client was dying. I did a shot. They loved that. Done. So,
Excellent.
but the top of toilet, so it's
Okay,
probably my
I
on top of head.
nice. And now the flip side. What's the craziest picture you took? Like the people said, I want to pose like this, or I want to look like this. Is
I
there
don't know. I don't even know. I will have to think
okay?
about it a little bit. I
I
don't
know.
know.
I
I'm
got
sure
excited
there's
about this. Yeah, but there's something,
oh,
and you know what'll happen is
maybe there's
as soon as we go off the air, you'll remember two or
oh
three of
yeah.
them. Right.
I would text you.
Yeah. Thank you. They're good. I'll tell the
At
people.
midnight.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
Hey,
tell
by
the
the
people.
way, I'm
Yeah.
Ant.
Exactly. By the way, I'm outside your window. This is the craziest photo I'm
I'm
taking.
not that crazy. That's not.
All right. So we've covered the bacon here, and I think this is really good. What would be some closing words that you would have for somebody? Somebody like those words of encouragement, and obviously repeat what we're talking about here,
Hmm.
but just tell people. I one of the things I would say is we live in a digital world right now, right?
Yeah.
And that your face needs to be out there or should be out there.
Hmm.
And I know some people are going to make excuses like, I'm afraid my face is going to be stolen or something like that.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. You're not that important. Okay.
Oh.
All right. But I think that what we do need is we need to get more photography out there with our correct personality,
Yeah.
showing who we are. I think it's important for us to be able to go to photographers like yourself and say, this is the story I need the world to see. I need the world to see that I'm a good person. I'm a trustworthy person. I'm a loving person.
Yeah.
Okay. And I need you to capture that in my photography. All right. What are some of the other things? What general advice would you give people?
Actually, find the right photographer.
Yeah.
There's a client sometimes that don't that just sometimes I know it's just a headshot, just
Yeah.
some photography, but they sometimes have the right person to
Yes.
to capture you, especially if you're looking for some more personal stuff. I think it's the key to write the right person who's gonna listen you, connect with you,
Yep.
and kind of just have that in the back of your mind. Obviously, I'm the right person for
Yes. Of
everyone.
course.
I'm just I don't want to
Of course.
I don't want
Of
to
course.
brag, but I think pretty much on the
Yeah.
average kind of fit
Nice.
in
Nice.
everyone's vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
But no, I like how you just said that is that this is part of the real you
yeah,
is to say that find the person that makes you feel comfortable
Yes.
so the real you can pop out in front of the camera. All right. With only a couple minutes left, I wanted to ask you something. Has anyone ever
Mm.
come to you and asked you about taking photographs so that they can make an AI version of themselves? And you're
I have
Go ahead.
reverse situation. I have
Ah,
someone who came and it's like, I want this background, and that was right when all AI started.
yeah,
I look at her, I was like, "Hey, this is you. What's going on?" I'm like, "Just too much younger. Like it's just there's too much going on, but it's somebody stole your face."
yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, this is what happened." I was like, "Oh, interesting." So he's like, "But I just kind of don't feel it's really me. My eyes are kind of just
There you go.
dark. There was no connection." So she came back and she stuck with this one post that AI kind of got for her, and we're just kind of working. And between, I'm like, let's just try this. Let's just spin. Let's just
Yeah,
throw your hair in the air like you don't care. And that's the image she picked. Picked the image I choose for her. Not choose.
yeah.
I pose, help her with the pose and get her bring the life in your eyes because that's AI. It's a lot. I was a lot of business. I won't lie. I mean, that's my favorite things.
Right,
But it's not about against fight to against. It's just kind of understanding education and use it.
right, right.
But to that, yes, I have other. I never have done away.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, because I want to ask you another question about that. But while you're still
Mm.
on the camera, I want you to again tell us the photography, with the name of your studio, where they
Yes.
can reach you, what you specialize in. Here's your chance.
Ooh, all
Go
right.
for it.
Kasia Vetter Photography. I have studio located in Wakanda. I do also travel to businesses. I travel as far to New Mexico, been it, Hawaii, been it, done it.
Nice.
So I review, you're looking for headshots in Hawaii, I have no problem to get you there. You can find me on my website. It's kasiavetterphotography.com. And you can connect through the website. There's my phone number. You can once again go for that. It's just the easiest way.
Okay.
There's all information is on Kasia Vetter Photography.
And what
Beckham.
happen? What happens? Let's say I called you up. Do we have a phone conversation? What goes on?
Consultations for first. First of all, what you're looking for, the basic information. If everything looks good, rates are good, if I custom for them package works for their budget, consultation is key for me. Just to kind of understanding what we're doing, what kind of backdrop we're doing, what we're wearing, what we're meeting, and just give them people. It's always as a first date. So the
Okay.
first date is kind of consultation. They talk about what they're looking for. I talk about how I'm going to deliver what they're looking for. And when the session happens, it's our second date. And it's just, the second date is always
I like
easier. I think. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have been on a date for a long time because I'm married for a long
That
time.
I gotcha. I know that. You gotta tell everyone
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
because, the phones are ringing off the hooks.
Oh, I
Everyone's
knew
wants to know,
it.
is she single? That's all
Oh,
they're asking here.
no, 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 no,
Right,
no,
right.
no.
Sorry, sorry. She's
Sorry.
taken. She is taken.
Yeah.
Uh, so with that, we're just about out of time. So
Ooh.
Kasha, thank you so very much. With like 2 minutes left, the thing I wanted to bring up, the last thing about AI I wanted to bring up
Hmm.
was there are a lot of different AI programs, and I think this is inevitable. More and more people are going to
Hmm.
they have to be involved in AI,
Yes.
right? And so there is with every piece of new technology, there is a leap. Like everyone leaves one thing to go, I'm going to go do it this way. And then there's slope. People suddenly go, oh, but I see a flaw in this and they want to come back.
Hmm.
Now, have you seen anything in your business where people are saying, I don't need you to do this. I don't need you to take photography because AI is going to do a better job for me?
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, sadly,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
And I always say, if it depends, do you want to have the experience? It's
Yeah,
a lot of times this experience.
I agree.
Again, I want people to live with great image, but just talk about, read about reviews. I don't want to brag about it. There's wonderful reviews about how the
Certainly.
fun experience was on top of the great images. So I think it's just yeah.
I'll tell you, and I'm gonna take it a step further because I know that you're not gonna brag about yourself. But I would say one of the greatest things that AI and I use a lot of AI programs, I use it
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit, but one of the greatest things that you bring is just that, is that you bring that warmth and that story that AI once I insert like you told me the story about the
Mm-hmm.
woman who put one picture up there, right?
Yeah.
There are some AI programs that they say take like a dozen pictures or 40 pictures of yourself
Okay.
so it can truly understand you, but it's still never going to capture that real emotion. It's still always going to be a little flat, and it's okay for salesy. I'm going to
Yeah.
sell a car, so I use my
Yeah.
AI person up there. Or it's okay when you purposely uh, cartoonize
Mm-hmm.
the image that everyone goes, obviously that's AI. When you
Yeah.
do something like that, that's where it works. But if you really want your soul or your story, to come out. There is nothing like going to a professional photographer. And
100%.
and there is nobody I would recommend higher than Kasia Vetter Photography.
Thank you. Well, not and you, obviously. You know,
I don't take anyone's
but
photos. No,
I
no,
think you
no.
should. I think it'd be one fun session. Maybe we should do it one day.
That would be
You
cool.
can do picture, you can do fun, and maybe we're gonna break me of making silly faces, which I kind of feel I always look silly. So
That's
maybe you can
awesome.
bring that of me.
Let's
How
do
about
that.
that?
I love it.
Love it.
We'll do that.
That's a date.
We'll plan on that. All right. So thank you all so very much for
Thank
tuning
you.
in. Thank you, Kasha. This has been absolutely amazing. This hour
Thank
went
you.
so quickly,
Yes, thank
right?
God.
Yeah. No, no, no.
No,
Come on. And you
no.
were absolutely amazing.
Yes, thank
I'll
you.
bet you I'm going to get all this fan letters about going, bring her back, bring her back. In
No,
fact, have her do a show by herself. We don't need you, Marty. That's what I'm going to get.
I don't think so. No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. We need you. I need you. I would never do
Oh,
so great without you.
oh,
I would say to save hands. I'm
thank
not
you.
gonna say the
My bacon
your,
hands.
your bacon hands.
All
That's strange. Let's
right.
not do that again.
I I don't understand what that means
Yeah,
100%, but that's all
that's
right.
okay.
So anyway, and thank you guys so very much for tuning in to Bacon Bits with Master Happiness. I'm your host, Marty Jalove. I can only hope that next week and the following weeks I have as charming a guest as
Well,
Kasha.
thank you.
Okay. If you missed any of today's episodes, shame on you. This is a great episode. You want to learn a little bit about this because everyone's got a little apprehension, a little fear of being in front of the lens. And so what you want to do is listen to the entire episode. Anywhere you listen to podcasts later this week, the recording will be up. It'll be on my YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Music, all over the place. So listen to it, learn something, and go take some pictures of yourself. You're beautiful and you deserve it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You got it.